In 1.4, I just want to do a little review about square roots. So let's first of all look at this 36. And I'm going to break it down, even though I know it's maybe quick and easy to do it, but I want you to see where things are coming from. So 36 we could break down into 2 and 18 or a whole bunch of different things. We'll just do 2 and 18. The 18 can be broken down into 2 and 9, and the 9 can be broken down into 3 and 3. Now this 2, this 2, this 3, and this 3 cannot be broken down any further. So instead of writing the square root of 36, I could write the square root of 2 times 2 times 3 times 3. Now square roots are really looking for pairs of numbers. So here's a pair of numbers that would come out as a 2. Single 2 because of the square root. Here's a pair of 3s that would come out as a single 3. So now there's nothing left in that square root. We just have 2 times 3, which equals 6. Notice there's no square root any longer because we took it out because of those pairs. So now let's look at 50. 50 is 2 times 25. 2 can't be broken down any longer, but 25 is 5 times 5. Now 5 can't be broken down any further, so we'll circle them. So the square root of 50 I could write as 2 times 5 times 5. Now here's a pair of 5s that will come outside as a single 5. But this 2 doesn't have a pair, so it gets stuck inside as a square root of 2. And this is our answer, 5 square root of 2. Complex numbers. Remember that I is the square root of -1. So here's how we use that. Let's look at 64. We'll break 64 down. 2 and 32. 2 and 16. 2 and 8. 2 and 4. 2 and 2. It's a lot of 2's. Now this is a -64, so we're going to write a -1 separately from all those 2's. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 2's. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're looking for pairs of numbers. So here's a pair of 2's that will come outside as 2. Here's a pair of 2's that will come outside as a 2. Here's a pair of 2's that will come outside as a 2. Now -1 didn't have a pair. It gets stuck inside as the -1 square root. So we multiply these together. 2 times 2 is 4 times 2 is 8. And then we have to remember that the square root of -1 is an I. So we end up with 8I. No more square roots because the square root of -1 becomes just a plain old I. Here's another one. So let's start with breaking down 72 first. So we have 2 and 36. 2 can't be broken down. 2 and 18. 2 and 9. And then 9 becomes 3 and 3. So 72 was -72, so I'm going to start with a -1. And then 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 3. So here's a pair of 2's that will come out as a 2. Here's a pair of 3's that will come out as a 3. But this and this are left inside. So we have a -1 times 2. Now this -1 will come outside as an I. So I multiply these together and I get 6I. And then that square root of 2 gets left inside because the 2 didn't have a partner. One more, let's look at 18. This is 2 times 9. 9 becomes 3 times 3. So I can write the square root of 18 as a -1 first, and then 2 times 3 times 3. So we've talked about this a couple times now. I'm going to go ahead and do it first. This is going to become an I outside. This pair of 3's will come outside and become a 3, and we always put the I after the number. But this 2 is stuck inside by itself, so we just write the square root of 2, and that's our answer. We're going to need this in the next section. That's why I wanted to review it in 1.4.